Hi, I'm Andrea Bischoff. I'm Managing Director of Morrow Sodali and I'm responsible for the Swiss market. We create value for our clients, because we have an amazing team with an in-depth knowledge of the market, local expertise, but also a global team that helps us to see trends from other markets that may play a role in Switzerland.
I'm delighted that Nestor Advisors joined Morrow Sodali. For us, it's a logical suite of providing an end-to-end solutions to companies and boards on understanding what institutional shareholders are expecting from companies and helping to operationalize that from the internal point of view. We provide board evaluation services. We help as well now to guide boards and in their sustainability journey. We do train board members. We help them to understand how the environment is evolving and what their role should be changing as the environment and the world is changing. With our tool, we first question really and tailored the evaluation aspect to the unique circumstances of the board and the company is facing. That's one. Second, our tool helps to collect securely what each board member thinks on all of these issues related to how they spend the time, how effectively they receive the information, and how they engage and challenge constructively with each other in the management. Finally, our tool helps to benchmark actually the board against other boards in terms of both effectiveness, in terms of their composition, but as well in terms of the shareholder expectations. And that's what I like very much in being all together, is that we combine really the external view of the expectations of shareholders, the pain points that they perceive, with the internal effectiveness that any board has to be mindful of.
We also have an amazing set of data. We do collect every year all the AGM results, the most important critical topics, which we publish annually in our publication called Lighthouse. Here our governance team really contributes with the most important findings, and this is the difference that Morrow Sodali makes. I say on climate is a big topic in Switzerland. There's two reasons for it. In the Swiss market, we had some companies already having since last year votes on their climate transition plans. But going forward, there's also a new regulation coming into place in Switzerland where companies have to have a vote on their sustainability report. This will be applied from 2024 onwards, but it is very important for Swiss companies to now understand and follow the trends that investors provide, understand their expectations with regard to the whole discussion on climate. In the end, the investors are the same. And even if you are a bank, you can face a climate vote. We've seen this last year in Switzerland. We've seen UBS and Credit Suisse both, one having a management proposal, the other one having a shareholder proposal. And this is something other Swiss companies can learn a lot from. Understanding how investors voted on these cases and how investors, what expectations they have with regard to what companies should disclose, should explain, that's certainly something to look at some of the largest Swiss companies who've gone through those votes in the past. Again, coming back to the vote on a sustainability report, this is slightly a different matter, and I think the legal framework that is expected to apply will, in general terms speaking, help companies to fulfill these standards required, because TCFD reporting will be the main reporting framework used. So there's three more topics Swiss issuers have to have on the radar for 2023. Let's start with diversity. The Swiss regulation only requires companies to have a certain amount of women on board in the future. However, investors and proxy advisors are expecting this now. Hence, companies need to understand the investors' expectations, and this is what we can help with. With the European Shareholder Rights Directive, Europe really took the lead again. The disclosure that European companies provide with regard to targets and targets achievements are nowadays well ahead of Switzerland. While some investors and also proxy advisors still have an understanding and accept that Switzerland is different, I personally do believe that going forward there will be much more scrutiny with regard to these disclosures. And last but not least, one other important topic for Swiss issuers is obviously the topic around virtual AGMs. The Swiss law now enables issuers to receive an authorization from the AGM to hold virtual only AGMs in the future. But this is something many investors and proxy advisors don't agree with. If you hold a virtual AGM, you have to ensure that all shareholder rights are granted and investors can speak, can ask questions and receive the relevant answers from management and the board.